Woof.
Okay, so just found out about this dev blog, so I have not seen anything but the title at all. And as usual, I like to keep it to a first read through and off the cuff reactions, right, wrong, or whatever. I might tell you something wrong, and if I do, I'll probably put this on YouTube, so you can feel free to correct me in the comments there, or you can correct me in chat here on Twitch. So anyway, the new dev blog for today, this is November the 15th, for balance changes to public test 1211. So this is balance, they're balancing existing ships. Okay. We're applying balance changes to the following ships based on an analysis of both their combat statistics as well as player feedback. So we have Renown, we have Yūdachi, two good ships. We have Marlborough, mediocre. Not as bad as some people make it out, but still not a great ship. Adriatico, Álvaro de Bazán, I'll admit it works for some people. It doesn't work for me. I haven't been able to figure out how to make the boat work, and I haven't got in the right games yet or in the right situation to make it work very good for me. Additionally, we are also applying changes to the test ship Monmouth based on testing results. Oh, I completely forgot that the Monmouth even existed. Okay, well, let's see what they're doing. British battleship Renown at tier 6. Main battery reload time reduced from 25 to 23.5 seconds. Wow. So that's a full second and a half, which is about 6%, something like that. Somewhere in that neighborhood of a DPM change. That's welcome with a 6-gun battleship. Yes, please. Main battery firing range increased. Stock gunfire control system module firing range increased from 15.4 to 15.8, and researchable gunfire control system module firing range increased from 16.9 to 17.4. So yes, that's very much needed on that ship, because it does tend to be a bit anemic with 6 guns. So great for anybody that has and likes and plays that ship. Congratulations. This is, here comes, I was hoping this would be the case. Japanese destroyer Yūdachi at tier 7. Torpedo speed increased from 57 to 64 knots. This was the ship that you were basically forced to play, in your third slot, you're basically forced to take torpedo speed because the torps are just so slow. And they have a fairly high detection range. So it made them a lot easier to dodge. So this will help out a lot. And now you can still play that mod if you want and get the speed up to at least 67 knots. So fantastic. So that's 2 big buffs. Let's continue to see what else. I sense a theme of escalation here. British battleship Marlborough. Tier 9. Ooh. HE shell parameters change. Maximum damage increased from 4,800 to 5,500. Really? Whoa. That's 700. Wait a minute. Whoa. Okay. Let's think about this. That's 700 damage per shell, which is like, what, 13% or so change, 14% more DPM on HE. Yes, please. And fire chance increased from 24 to 28%. You just increased the freaking fire chance by probably, what, about 17-ish%, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. Again, thank you very much. Please and yes. Okay, this is boding well so far. Italian destroyer Adriatico at tier 9. Main battery reload time reduced from 5.4 to 5 seconds. So that's somewhere around about between 8 and 9% better DPM. So another buff. Spanish destroyer Álvaro de Bazán at tier 10, main battery reload time reduced from 6.1 to 5.5. That's right at a 10% DPM buff. Burst fire reload time reduced from 24 to 21 seconds. So they're enticing you with more DPM and a shorter cooldown on your burst fire. Very interesting. Okay. Another huge buff. Now let's see what happens to British cruiser Monmouth at tier 10. Main battery parameters change. Reload time reduced from 18.5 to 15.5. Firing range increased from 16.9 to 19.8. And they removed the HE shell. So I'm guessing this will be an AP only. But yeah, you're getting a 3-second. That's like over 15%. Yeah, that's probably 16-17% DPM improvement just on reload. And then you're getting the range increased by almost 3 kilometers. That's another like 17% increase. Okay. AP shell parameters changed. They've upped the damage from 5750 to 6200. Arming threshold reduced from 39 to 25 millimeters. Improved the ricochets, and now they will resemble that can be found on high-tier British destroyers. Shell pin improved. Shell ballistics altered for flatter. So they've just made everything mo better. So the HE have some extra. All right, so let's start out with the main battery parameters. Have some extra DPM from reload time. Have a whole lot of extra range. You can't have any fires and DOT, but in exchange for that, have extra shell damage. So yet again, more DPM. Have a lower threshold or a lower armoring threshold. Better ricochet angles. Improve the shell pin, improve the ballistics with a flatter. Okay. Deck armor reduced from 40 to 30 millimeters, so they're making it a little more like a little closer to a light cruiser. Parameters of the repair party consumable have changed. So that's your first nerf that has been given out tonight, going from 40 to 30. That's your first negative change on anything. Parameters of the repair party were changed. Hit point restoration per second reduced from 1188 to 297. Boy, that's not just a smack with the Nerf bat. I mean, that's breaking the Nerf bat over the ship's face. Wow. So you're healing almost 1,200 a second, and now you're healing roughly 300. But they give you an extra charge and they make the action time longer. Okay, we gotta know, because I'm gonna get out my little calculator here. So before, you could heal almost 24,000 damage, 23,760 to be exact, and that's before you've put any flags on the ship or done anything. So that can be boosted a little bit. But you can heal almost 24,000 damage with one heal. But you only got 2 of them base, 3 once you use SI. Now you're at 297 for 28 seconds. Now you're only healing 8,300. So you're healing a little more than a third of what you were. Wowzer. So, okay, they gave you these huge buffs on the guns, but they're saying you're going to have to pay for it by being by being easier to kill. Okay, so that's it. That is the new dev blog here with upcoming balance changes for the public test server in public test 12.11. This is the dev blog that came out today, November 15th. So just for a quick recap, British cruiser Monmouth, huge buffs to the main battery reload range and all of that, but HE shells are removed. Huge improvements to AP shell damage, arming threshold, ricochet angles, pin, ballistics, everything. Nerf bat to the deck armor, and huge nerf bat to the heel. It went from what looked like a super heel to a kind of a puny heel. Next up, Spanish Tier 10 destroyer Álvaro de Bazán, huge buff to the guns and burst fire reload. Tier 9 Tan destroyer Adriatico, nice buff to the main battery reload. British battleship Marlborough gets a very nice buff to the HE shell damage and fire chance. So huge buffs. Japanese destroyer Yūdachi gets a gigantic buff to the torpedo speed, which is sorely needed. And lastly, British battleship Renown at Tier 6 gets a buff to the main battery reload time and the firing range. So it's definitely makes it a lot more viable. So that's it. Ton of buffs given out. Buffs for everybody. Hardly any nerfs. So congrats to those that are getting one of your favorite ships buffed. That's it. That is our complete dev blog for balance changes. Public test 12.11 released today, November 15th. Now it's time to switch over to World of Warships, play some games. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see notifications of future videos, just ring the bell. Until next time, Tater Dawg says, woof.